Hola, ¿cómo estás? Konnichiwa, aloha, hello. Welcome to the J-Boy Sports Podcast, and back with another episode today. We are going to talk about Gil's Arena, but specifically my boy, the Rashad McCants. Rashad McCants and Gil are always going back and forth. I really like the Gil's Arena podcast. Sometimes it's a lot of nonsense, but it's a good show, man. These guys are very entertaining. They have the balance between Rashad and what he thinks and what other people think is must-see TV, because you have very strong, opinionated alpha gentlemen stating their case. So whether that's Rashad, Gil, Brandon, Kmart, Swaggy P. We haven't really gotten into too many things Swaggy said yet on his channel, but don't worry, it's coming, because Swaggy P is one of my favorites, man. That guy, you can't tell me nothing about Swaggy P, man. You can't tell me nothing about swag. He's swagged out at all times, and Swaggy's just funny, man. He's a funny dude. And back in the day when he was playing, he could be the best player on the court, bro, at any given moment. He was nice. So we're going to get into this. Today they're discussing heat culture. That's what we're going to discuss. They were talking about heat culture. And Rashad McCants is basically saying, like, listen, people go to Miami because they want the heat culture. And this is still kind of on the heels of what happened with Jimmy Butler and wanting to leave and trying to get out of there and you know, making a big fuss and a ruckus. And Rashad didn't like that. I didn't like it either. I think I still have love for Jimmy Butler, but I didn't like the way he pushed himself out. I didn't think it was. I just didn't like it over some money. You know, he did all that, and Jimmy's a winner. Don't get me wrong, but $50 million a year is a lot of money. So we'll see what happens with Golden State. But I personally think that Rashad is on to something here, and we're gonna hear what he has to say. We're gonna hear what Gil has to say. But ultimately, we'll make some comments after we listen. But let's listen to what they have to say about heat culture, and if heat culture is a real thing, and if people want to be involved in it, or if it's just whatever Jimmy Butler was when he was there.
So can we kill the narrative that it was the Miami Heat culture that created this Jimmy Butler, Pat Riley thing? Because it ain't got nothing to do with the way they work, how hard they work, what they demand out of their players. Mm-hmm. It has everything to do with how much money Jimmy Butler wants. And if that was the case, Jimmy wouldn't have been able to stay there and take them to the finals twice if it was Heat culture. So that narrative that's being pushed, and no one wants to go to Miami because it's too hard.
That's different narratives.
Man, I'm killing that, man.
No, which narrative are you
killing? That.
Which
Both
one?
of them.
You can't kill both.
Yeah, I can kill all of them.
So you're killing the narrative of players don't want to go there.
Yeah.
That's the narrative. That's what. Okay,
yeah,
now tell me what.
That, because it started to bubble after this Jimmy Butler thing came. It wasn't. Nobody was talking about. Nobody want to go to Miami. Nah, Jimmy Butler started ruffling feathers, and they think, oh, he don't want to be there because it's too tough. Nobody want to. Man, stop all that. Dame was going to Miami. It got intercepted.
Traded.
It got intercepted.
Okay, so
he wanted to go to Miami.
Mm-hmm. But the narrative, there's two narratives. The narrative of Jimmy Butler, whatever he's doing, that's one narrative.
Yep.
If that's what you're killing, cool.
No, I'm not killing that. I'm killing this other narrative.
Kill the
Dame Lillard wanted to go to Miami.
You can't kill the narrative of free agents wanting to go sign there.
Yes, I can.
Because the facts is there hasn't been any free agents that signed there.
Since what, LeBron and them?
No, they signed. They got traded there.
But yeah, it was signed.
It was signed and trade. No free agent.
But he strong-armed his way out there.
So the only time a free agent has signed there.
The history doesn't need us to be able to say,
yeah, history does.
We know that Chris Bosh and LeBron James went to Miami. They chose Miami
to team up to win a championship.
There's no reason to. You're talking about.
Yeah. So your free agents that signed
Dame Lillard wanted to go to Miami.
Would be.
So essentially, you have McCants and you have Brandon Jennings is chiming in a little bit, but it's mainly between Rashad and Gil, and they're basically talking about heat culture. And Rashad's saying, I'm gonna dead both of these things at the same time. Like, essentially, that heat culture is that heat culture is not a thing, and that nobody wants to go to heat culture. And Gil is kind of pushing back using some, in my opinion, not very strong arguments, because he's basically saying, like, yo, like, like, who's the last free agent that went there? But that's kind of disingenuous, man, because one of the Heat culture generated one of the craziest free agency grabs of all time, with Wade already being there, but you're adding LeBron James, you're adding Chris Bosh, you added Rashad Lewis, Ray Allen, Jermaine O'Neal went there at one point. They added a lot of pieces, like Mike Miller, Shane Battier, like, and I don't know if they were all through signings or signing trades or whatever, but ultimately these guys wanted to go to Miami to go and get these rings, man. So Gil's sitting up here saying, well, you know, who's the last person that went? And then Rashad is basically saying, like, yo, Dame was trying to come here and they blocked it. And he's like, well, still, who's the last person that wanted to come here? And that's where the argument starts getting weird, man. Come on, Gil. Like, brother, obviously Dame Lillard was trying to go there. And Dame, honestly, I wish he would have went there, because it probably would have been better fit for Dame. Dame needs to play, he needs to learn how to play real winning basketball, in my opinion. On the Bucks, you are not going to learn that from Doc Rivers. And Giannis, who I love, I don't know if he can extend his greatness to other people as far as teaching them what they have to do. Like, Giannis is a freak of nature. When you're a freak of nature, everything is freaky for you. You know what I mean? Pause, no Diddy. Like, Giannis, he's nice and he's amazing, but he's nice and he's amazing because he's a freak of nature. What he has to do to be great is not the same thing as what a Dame Lillard has to do to be great. Dame is not really amazing in anything other than his shooting. And I guess he can score because of his shooting. That makes Dame tough. But that's not why Dame wasn't winning on the Blazers, in my opinion. Now, yeah, you could say he didn't have as much help as some other people. Fine, I'll listen to the argument. You can use that, and I won't hate it. But I also didn't see a lot of winning plays from Dame. I thought he had some decent teams out in Portland. Enough to win a championship? I can't say that. But enough to play better in some of the moments where he got smacked off the court than he did, in my opinion. Specifically against Steph Curry, who he had no success against at all. But they also got blasted by the Pelicans one year, and I thought that they basically just stopped him from shooting jump shots, which is what Dame likes to do, and he didn't have another gear. On Miami, they teach you how to play real basketball. You learn how to pass. You learn how to shoot, which he already knows how to do. You learn how to play team b-ball, take advantage of matchups. You learn how to play tough, solid defense. And to me, those are the intangibles that Dame doesn't have. But like they said, Dame was trying to go over there and get some of that. And now he's on the Bucks. He's got the blood clot thing, so hopefully rest up, get well soon, Dame. But at the end of the day, what is Dame accomplishing on the Bucks? I think it's a horrible fit. Because like I said, there's nothing Giannis can teach Dame that, you know, I don't, and I know he's not going to get it from Doc Rivers. I don't trust Doc Rivers. Y'all trust Doc Rivers? Mr. Give up 3-1s and can't close out series? I'm not trusting him. I couldn't do it. So let's continue listening to what they say, and we'll get this next clip here.
Dame Lillard was supposed to go to Miami
to get traded there.
You
So
got
who signed him?
DeMar, James Harden, Klay Thompson.
No.
None of them came to the Lakers either.
No, keep going. It has nothing to do with the Lakers, so keep going.
LeBron stayed.
Keep going.
What are we talking about?
Keep going. We're
Buddy
talking
Hield,
about
Tyus
what's on
Jones,
point.
Harkenstein.
Okay. Okay, how about last year?
We didn't want none of them guys.
How about last
We
year?
didn't want none of them guys.
How about last year?
So is it okay that we didn't want none of
How
them guys?
about last year?
Let me see. Let me pull the list.
Pull them up.
Kyrie, I think Van Vliet, Jeremy Grant, Middleton, Cam Johnson, Draymond, Miles Bridges.
Okay, how about the year before that? Come on, we can keep going. Come on. Let's keep going.
Well, you keep going.
With free agents,
So what?
have signed there.
So what?
That's
so what?
You're trying to.
You asked me who the last guy wanted to go to Miami. Dame Lillard wanted to go. He wasn't a free agent.
Okay.
If he was, guess where he would have wanted to go?
Let's try this again.
Okay, so he don't want to hear that.
Okay, let's start it again. The beginning of it is free agents do not go to Miami unless there's a championship there.
Oh my God.
Like so when Shaq got traded there with Dwayne Wade, they lost the next year. Then free agents started coming there because that was a championship team. Okay, once that happened, nobody came there. Then
what free agents don't want to go to a championship team?
Okay, so then LeBron.
So you had to win a championship for free agents to get there and want to go there? Okay, right? Is that what he's saying?
Is that what he's saying? I'm trying to present it.
They wanted to go to Miami because they won a championship?
I'm trying to present it so you can actually hear it. So then so when Shaq them didn't win, after they disbanded, nobody went there. No good free agent went there. Then LeBron, Dwayne Wade teamed up.
It was a 4-year gap.
Right, they teamed up. Right,
a 3-year gap.
They teamed up, so Mike Miller, all of them were going there. They all said they were going there. Okay, they went there.
Why did they say they were going there?
Because they were teaming up and winning a championship.
Oh.
So, essentially, now Gilbert is going on this thing where he's saying, like, oh, well, they were teaming up to win a championship. That's why they went there. And Dame Lillard wasn't a free agent. But, again, the argument here is that is Heat culture done with? Is Heat culture not something that people still want to be around and associated and affiliated with? And I think Gil is just going off to run on a tangent here that nobody's going to follow him on. At the end of the day, yes, there was some problems with Jimmy Butler. Yes, if you look back, there's been some problems with LeBron and his cookies on the airplane, supposedly. And there's also been some issues where Wade ended up leaving because they gave money, I think, to Hassan Whiteside or somebody like that. And Wade thought he should have got paid first. All of that makes 100% sense. And I understand what people are saying. But ultimately, who doesn't want to play for the Heat? And I think you'd be a fool to not want to play on Miami, honestly. If you could go there with what they have now, they need another player. But you know that your squad is going to be consistent. You're going to make the playoffs, or at least give yourself an opportunity every single year. The weather is nice. Yeah, you're going to have to sacrifice some of your individuality. You're going to have to be a disciplined individual to play for Pat Riley and Eric Spoelstra. And what they have going on down there. But you can reap the benefits of that success. I actually thought Russell Westbrook should have went there. I'm surprised Russ is not playing on Miami. I think they could definitely use a player like Russ. And the Heat culture has a way of turning you into a winner. Now, Jimmy Butler already was a winner, but look at how he made it to the finals twice. And a couple times, he probably could have got back again if he didn't get hurt last year, maybe. And, they be coming from the bottom seed and just winning. They find ways to win. Eric Spoelstra is an excellent coach. Pat Riley is an excellent GM. Pat Riley is responsible for so many championships in the NBA, and you can't write the history of the NBA without Pat Riley. Now, you're going to have to deal with some old school behavior? Yes. But do you want to win? Or do you want to play on a team that's full of, people that are comfortable losing and don't know what they're doing and are relying on another video I made, are relying on AI to make moves as a GM, like Daryl Morey. So, on the Sixers. So, look, everything is a sacrifice. And Gil is, if you listen to the whole podcast, I think Gil and some other people are upset because they didn't like how Pat Riley was doing Jimmy Butler. But again, Jimmy was acting out of pocket. He wasn't doing things right. He was basically picking himself over everybody else, the city, the fans, all of that. And Pat Riley said, yo, you're a player. I'm the GM, right? I run this team. So you can take this fine. You will take this L. You need to get out there and play. And it's all stemmed because Pat Riley gave him some tough love and said, yo, Jimmy Butler was talking trash on the bench because he couldn't play. And he's like, yo, why are you talking trash from the bench? What you need to be worried about is getting healthy and getting back next year and playing all the games. And Jimmy's historically been out. I don't think Jimmy takes the regular season seriously, which I personally don't like. But I got to admit, playoff Jimmy is usually tough. We'll see what happens this year with the Warriors. But, I'm not going to fault Pat Riley, a mainstay of the NBA, a guy that seems reasonable and fair, but knows what it means to win. I'm not going to say that, Heat culture is dead because of that. I don't buy it because I don't hear Bam talking bad about him. Tyler Hero fought hard to get off that bench because they were still bringing him off the bench until this year. And I never heard him say nothing bad about Pat Riley. And I'm sure there's something. I've heard Shaq say that he wanted to choke him out and all that stuff and wanted to fight him and because Pat Riley was doing crazy stuff. And I understand all that. Pat Riley's a tough old school guy. Men are going to be men. Sometimes we're going to have to, wrestle with each other to figure out who's right and who's wrong. That's just how it is to be a man. But running away from your team, quitting on your team, showing up late and doing all the stuff Jimmy was doing, I don't like that, man. Because you're willing to inconvenience anybody else that's not you, and I don't respect that. I can have a beef with somebody. I can have a beef with my boss. So I'm just not going to do my work so that my coworkers are also going to fail and look like they're not completing projects. That's not right, man. There's other ways to get your points across without, ruining other people. So as far as Heat culture and what I think about it, I think if you're really a player that's trying to win and trying to get the best out of yourself, then you need to go to a place like Miami where they take winning serious and they're going to work with you to improve your game and get the best out of you. That's been proven. That's what they do over there. And no, they don't win a championship every year, but they're always competitive. And if you're a really good player, all you need is a team around you that's competitive. And you're the person that's supposed to take the team over the top. They already got Bam, who I'm not in love with, but he's a player. He's good. He's just not great. Tyler Hero can score. He's been one of the better scorers in the league this year. He won the three-point contest over some actually truly great three-point shooters. So they got some pieces over there. The question is, how good are you, and are you really ready to win some basketball games when you go over there? So that's my take on it. That's where I stand on it. I don't think Heat culture is dead. I'm with Rashad McCants on this. I think that if you're going to go play for the Heat, you're going to go play for a real man. Real men. You're going to be playing for Pat Riley. You're going to be playing for Eric Spoelstra. Udonis Haslem probably has some type of a position on that team. They're going to hold you accountable. So if you're a little boy and you don't like people holding you to a standard, if you don't like proving that you're worth every penny that you deserve, if you don't want to earn your keep, if you don't want to work hard, then don't go to Miami. But I'd like to believe that there's still people that value things like that and want that culture, that want to win. That want the experience you'll get from Pat and Spo and that entire organization. They're still one of the top organizations that I've seen. Them having a beef with Jimmy Butler doesn't change that. So I appreciate your time. Please like, share, and subscribe. Let's grow the channel. Also, please don't click off the video immediately as it's ending, because there are some suggested videos that I'm sure you'll love. In fact, I know you'll love. I guarantee it. Okay? Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Much love. That somehow you never get over leaving